But someone recommended this one again because they were actually impacted by it. I'm not sure like how much impacted by it. Actually, hold on. Do I still have that up? Let's see. It was a close call, so it looked like it was very close to them when it happened. So this is the Deadliest Tornado 2025 Somerset-London EF4. So I don't think I've heard about this one unless I saw it under something else. Maybe I don't know. Hi, Oathbreaker. Hi. Oh, loud. Sorry. And I guess just prefacing, these are very serious situations. Again, my model might smile, etc., but we take these very seriously. Every now and then, we may have a little joke for comedic relief, something like that, but we are not joking about any severity in the video or any loss of life, etc. So
scared because I didn't know if he was dead or alive, and thankfully he was crying, and that's how I was able to find him.
What?
Was by following to his cry.
Oh, poor baby.
May 16th, 2025.
That makes me think of the one where the baby was taken away by a tornado, but the thing is, it was up in a tree, but it was in its carrier. It was in a carrier in a tree, and it was sound asleep and not even scratched. That's insane to me.
London, Kentucky.
London, Kentucky.
Tara Holyfield was awake in her bed, while her almost 2-year-old son, Parker, was in his own room sleeping. She knew the weather was bad, but she had no cell service, so she had no way of knowing just how bad it could be.
Oh.
A thought that was keeping her awake. But surely, it couldn't be that serious, right? London, Kentucky isn't one to be devastated by fierce tornadoes after.
That I just can't imagine recording the storm and in a flash of lightning, you just see the silhouette of that tornado. Oh, the heart attack I would have on the spot.
Raw. Yet, unbeknownst to Tara and to the rest of the Sunshine Hills subdivision in London, Kentucky, a powerful tornado had landed in Russell County an hour prior, and it was picking up speed directly toward their home. The only warning hinting at its arrival was the loud freight train-like sounds outside.
So, you're telling me there was no actual sirens going off? When it's as clear as day. I mean, I think this is rain over here. Of course, this is the tornado. Storm chasers. Yeah, they had like the specialty cars to get closer to the tornado. Wait, who is it? The Devastator? I think it's what it's called. That one's special, but sometimes they just chase it with just cars loaded with different equipment, just normal cars. Not all the places have air raid sirens anymore. Just why though? Why do we take this away? Because look, we have a lot of technology. We've advanced in technology. People don't have those weather radios anymore. Why are we taking away something that we can all hear? Oh, Dominator. Thank you. It's the Dominator, not the Devastator. Thank you. There's 3 Dominators? That's freaking cool. Only installed where risks have previously existed. Well, guess what? Tornadoes can also appear in places that haven't existed before. It still takes me back to the day where within 2 weeks there's tornadoes. It's like tornadoes everywhere. So, what part was this? Okay, yeah. So the first time there were threat of tornadoes in a lot of our areas around where I worked, like all of our branches, and so work sent us home early, right? They sent us home early ahead of the storm. Well, we never had any tornadoes near any of those locations. Okay. The second week, literally the next week, I was at a different location. I know I've told the story before, but the tornado sirens are going off, and all these, we kept getting alerts, and I kept calling my supervisor, like, hey, the sirens are going off. Do I need to shut the doors, or like, what do you want me to do? Oh, just wait. We're watching it. I'm like, there's tornado sirens currently going off where I am. And so I prepared everyone to get in our vault. I was waiting. People, one person was like, nope, I get claustrophobic. I'm not getting in it. I said, if we have to, I am pulling you in here and shutting the door, and you're just going to be claustrophobic for a little bit. So I was nice enough to leave it open for a second. until we had to get in there. But luckily we never had to. So, but just saying that there's tornadoes everywhere, and they didn't take it seriously this time. And the fact that less than a mile down the road there wasn't an actual tornado on the ground close to one of our locations. Like you could look out the window, tornado right there. Right there. And it was at the location I used to work at. It was just really creepy. So yeah. Yeah, they they're not always at the same spot. They can appear randomly.
In this ominous rumble, Tara ran to grab her son from his room. But before she could, the tornado lifted both of them up away from their house. And when they landed, their house was gone. They were surrounded by rubble,
They
and
got
their entire
lifted.
community just disappeared from the map. Tara, injured, rushed to find her son amongst the chaos and debris. Luckily, she found him alive, crying,
Oh,
but unfortunately, this wasn't the case for everyone.
I'm definitely going to be more weather aware from now on in hopes that, this doesn't happen again.
this is why I preach constantly. Like, oh my gosh, Spit, why are you talking about this again? We know. Well, guess what? I'm talking about it every single tornado video to be prepared and to what to have to be prepared, etc. Because you never know it's going to happen to you. Yeah, no. So yeah, they can just pop up and be like, hey, there hasn't been a tornado here ever. Well, guess what? History's changed. There's a tornado now. I don't know. It's crazy to me. But I can't imagine just the relief of finding her child. Oh, just the relief.
Yeah, it's just been a very scary.
Don't think you alone.
It may sound strange to hear of stories of people being unprepared for tornadoes. Some say that could never be them, thinking
What did I say?
they'll immediately be prepared even at the slightest chance of a tornado touching down near their home.
This is something that you see and hear about, but you never think it will happen to you. We have nothing now. Everything's gone.
But the truth is, most people, except those living in Tornado Alley, don't really expect such violent tornadoes to touch down even during storm season. And residents of eastern Kentucky, for the most part, are among the laid-back population that doesn't really expect deadly twisters. See, Kentucky may be part of the Dixie Alley, which you can think of as a secondary tornado hotspot in the United States. But those who live in London, Kentucky, and nearby areas know that their part of the state still isn't in that much risk of violent storms. Only about 20 tornadoes occur in Kentucky annually, and most of those are EF0s and EF1s, barely damaging fences and snapping branches. And in very rare instances of disastrous and violent twisters in the state, the western side often pulls the short end of the straw, experiencing the bulk of the strongest tornado activity. No wonder people in eastern Kentucky, like Tara Holyfield, didn't pay much mind to the weather on May 16th, even when this storm was already forecasted days prior.
Yeah, then you push it. If you know it's going to be bad, you need to keep pushing it. That's the thing. Dixie has a lot of forest coverage, so chasing it is difficult and dangerous. Yeah, and usually it's at night and rain wrapped. So it sucks. we don't know where it is. You just have to listen to the meteorologist until your power goes out. Yeah, tornadoes don't care about you. They don't care about if you're ready or not. They're coming.
On May 12th, 2025, the Storm Prediction Center issued its Day 4 severe weather outlook, highlighting parts of the Ohio Valley under a 15% severe weather risk.
It's higher than 1.
As the event drew closer, so did the risks and possibilities of significant damage. By May 15th, just one day before the storm, the Day 2 outlook was upgraded to a moderate risk, with forecasters warning of a regional outbreak of severe thunderstorms. Intense supercells capable of large hail and tornadoes were mentioned, followed by an overnight bowing line of storms with damaging winds. At that stage,
Even if you don't have a tornado, straight line winds are terrifying. Terrifying. Like it's ripped the stake that I have from my gate. It's staked to the ground so it doesn't open. It ripped it out and ripped it off of my gate. Twice.
a 10% tornado probability was placed over most of Kentucky.
We have a big problem tomorrow. We have lines of storms moving in from the west to the east as early as 4 o'clock in our western counties. I really think prime time is 6 to 10 tomorrow.
It's
I'm sorry,
clear,
Melvin.
however, that the expected
only one we're watching
tornado-prone
this
area
time.
slightly missed London. And this likely further contributed to why many of those living in the city
Patches?
didn't take this outlook seriously. The next day, or D-Day, May 16th, 2025, the Day 1 outlook was issued at 7:46 a.m. Once again, a moderate risk was declared. This time, the probabilities of violent tornadoes capable of EF2 or EF5 damage had jumped to 15%. There was also a 45%.
Oh, yes, EF2 to EF5. That's quite a range, not gonna lie. Just say up to EF5 damage, possibly. We know it's not EF1 or EF0, but definitely EF2 at least up to 5. Oh, great. Wonderful. A hatched area means a significant risk. Okay, so like the red and purple are a significant risk, but 30%, 15%. Oh, wind probability or something. No, that's okay. That's wind probability. And so significant risk are those two areas. Okay. Yeah, always assume the worst. And that way, if you're prepared for the worst, then you're good. If you're prepared for the worst and there's nothing, then guess what? You're fine.
Chance of strong, damaging winds and 45% of hail coming from the storm. Based on the survivors' accounts, though, these outlooks pretty much meant nothing to the regular residents. They knew that if things got really bad, the sirens would blare, severe weather news would pop up, and their friends would likely warn them. Understandable.
Don't rely
But when
on
people
others.
go about their day thinking the weather isn't too threatening and hit the sheets at night, not knowing that there could be a twisting midnight monster knocking on their doors, then that's when trouble can strike. That's exactly how the day went for people of eastern Kentucky on May 16th, 2025. It was like any other regular Friday. Schools were open, parents headed to work as usual, and cinema theaters were packed even an hour before midnight. On the flip side, meteorologists were keeping a close eye on the skies. Dew points hovered near the 70s, which meant the atmosphere was loaded with moisture and instability. Strong winds aloft provided the wind shear needed to rotate supercells, and a passing cold front supplied the lift to spark storms. As evening came, a powerful low-level jet entered the region, adding the final spin for violent tornadoes. By 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a supercell was marching toward Jamestown in Russell County. And by 10:27 p.m., when most were asleep or in bed, the tornado that would later track through 3 states for an hour and a half, killing 19 people, and injuring over 100, eventually touched down in Russell County, northeast of Jamestown.
And as soon as we got in there and I grabbed the kids and we went down, I mean, it happened that quick.
I don't know how they lived. If you look at his house, I guess that's something to be thankful for.
That was my apartment. And we dug ourselves out of this between that washing machine and that refrigerator.
Initially, the twister resembled a typical Kentucky tornado, producing minor damage to outbuildings and snapping a few trees along Kentucky 619. Some hillsides were grazed, debris and branches were scattered, and some homes sustained minor roof damage. If you were indoors, you would have thought it was just the strong winds that were warned about by the National Weather Service. But as the tornado moved east-northeastward, it gradually strengthened to EF2. Winds reaching up to 135 miles per hour tore through the countryside, destroying mobile homes and a camper. They might not have seen the funnel, but people were starting to feel firsthand that this was a tornado.
Yeah, if you don't have any sirens going off and no alerts or anything, and it's at night when people are asleep, they don't really know. They don't know. They need to have some sort of warning, especially in a mobile home or trailer. We're watching the Somerset-London EF4 tornado. It's crazy. I just see the path too. Look at this house right here. And even that right here, just lucky, basically. Just pure luck.
The twister continued its path. and as it crossed Gosser Ridge Road and damaged homes along the way, it had strengthened to low-end EF3. Now, winds are reaching upward of 140 miles per hour. Shortly after, the tornado approached the outskirts of Pulaski County. In Pulaski, the twister alternated between EF3, EF2, and EF1 winds, shrinking and widening as it tracked from the western hills near House Fork Creek to the southern side of Somerset.
Oh, that's a wedge,
But regardless of its strength, it had one common trait throughout: its hunger for damage. It caused notable destruction in every minute of its lifetime. Farmsteads were battered, roofs were ripped from homes, barns were destroyed, and outbuildings were flattened.
It's hard to see. Homes that are in a single wall left standing. Some homes that have all four walls yet lost the person inside.
Soon, it inched toward its worst hit in the country, Somerset proper. Immediately, the tornado destroyed 2 homes and damaged several others with heavy roof and wall damage. Vehicles weren't spared from the debris-filled winds either. The Somerset Cinemas 8 building was hit directly. At the time, about 100 people were still inside, enjoying a movie. Luckily, the building only took minor roof and structural damage.
Oh, that's good.
Nearby, along Parker's Mill Way, a strip mall was badly damaged as well. Most of the windows were blown out, and debris scattered all across the parking lot. The Pulaski County Area Technology Center collapsed completely, and the nearby Redeemer Lutheran Church had its front and back walls torn down. Businesses like Baxter's Coffee, Speedway, and South Central Bank, places central to people's day-to-day lives, were unrecognizable. And the Independent Opportunities Community Hab, which provided rehabilitation services to people with developmental disabilities, was also flattened. For the next several minutes that the tornado stayed in the county of Pulaski, more buildings, homes, and businesses were ravaged. In the Somerset area alone, more than a dozen homes and 20 businesses were destroyed. And as the powerful tornado left the residential areas of the county, it moved to Daniel Boone National Forest, where it solidified its EF3 strength. Satellite images and drone footage clearly show how the twister scarred the otherwise lush greenery of this national forest. The scars show.
Alright, that looks like someone just stepped in some grass and like knocked it down. Those are trees. Yes, but we know they're trees. Yeah. You don't understand. It looks like straw or little blades of dead grass being smushed. Those are all trees on the ground. Waffle House is still open. They're crazy. They're crazy. Maybe they knew they weren't going to get hit. I'm just kidding. Little humor. But, yeah. Like, what do you, I guess, do you just leave it? Yes,
Otherwise lush greenery of this national forest. The scars showcase how the tornado grew in size as it uprooted and snapped trees just before it passed north of the community of Poplarville along Kentucky 3269. Poplarville is where the tornado caused its first ever EF4 damage. Here, a concrete home where an elderly couple and their family friend took shelter was leveled. 2 survived, but unfortunately, the 69-year-old wife died when she was lifted by the tornado and struck by flying debris. Later, she was found in the yard of her home.
I don't know what they're going through. I really don't. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know that if they know that it's just real yet or if everything has come to terms for them. I don't know.
The tornado damaged more outbuildings before it once again weakened to EF2 as it moved eastward. However, as if trees feed off this tornado's energy, the twister quickly regained EF3 intensity after uprooting and mowing down swaths of softwood trees in its path. Using these trees as damage indicators, surveyors estimate that the winds were likely as strong as 153 miles per hour at this point. Strong, but it has yet to reach its full potential. The tornado continued its destructive path through trees, and as it crossed Kentucky 1003, it reached its maximum width of nearly 1 mile, just before it stepped into Laurel County. This is where the tornado left its deadliest tracks. But it wouldn't start off as fatal. In fact, the tornado first weakened during its first few moments in Laurel County. As the tornado entered the Laurel Canyon subdivision, homes lost their roofs, exterior walls were knocked down, and power poles were snapped. But that's pretty much it. It was back to EF1 intensity.
That's crazy.
Unfortunately,
up and
though,
down.
like it had done a handful of times throughout its lifetime, the tornado was still due for another ramp-up. Along Hart Church Road, the tornado stole the life of a 47-year-old woman. Next, it tore through Lovelace subdivision, where homes were thrown, a tractor trailer was flipped on its side, and an elderly couple was killed.
Aww.
The next stop, Sunshine Hills in London, was the most deadly. Since the tornado maintained high-end EF3 intensity throughout this neighborhood, every home it touched was reduced to debris. 3 homes were completely swept away by the wind. Concrete slabs were lifted and cracked, and mobile homes were flattened. While Tara Holyfield and her son survived in this subdivision, 9 lives were lost in Sunshine Hills alone. Crossing Walker Lane,
That wasn't a large neighborhood either, having 9 people in that.
3 more homes were demolished by the rampaging twister. Along Boone Trail, houses were also swept away, and another person was killed. In subdivisions around Philpott Road and Airview Drive, the horror continued, with homes being damaged and destroyed from all directions. One poorly built house was swept off its foundation. 2 elderly siblings were killed when their home collapsed. Mobile homes in the area were also obliterated. In each neighborhood, the damage looked the same. Roofs gone. Walls collapsed.
And the thing is, you can see like all, not just from one house, you can see from multiple houses, all the brick laying around with the cement, between each brick and inside of each brick. And they say, oh, well, Americans need to build their houses better. Well, what do you want us to do? You want 3 layers of brick? Like, what do you want us to do? Give us some suggestions of how we should do this, right? Or do we need to weaken the tornadoes? We're watching the London tornado. Oh. The thing is, I don't think you can 3D print with concrete, though, is the thing. I've seen of people put like those something bars in the brick as well, but even with that, I don't really think it's going to help too much.
And debris scattered across yards and fields. The fatalities kept climbing with every community the twister visited. At the London Corbin Airport, hangars and warehouses were destroyed by the strong winds. Several aircraft and a medical helicopter were also damaged and totaled. Nearby, a small neighborhood was impacted, and a manufacturing center collapsed, killing a 25-year-old man inside. CCTV cameras at the London Corbin Airport captured the exact moment the tornado tore through these buildings.
We can 3D print with cement? I had no idea. That's actually really impressive.
Except for the times the lightning flashes revealed the funnel, you can see just how dark it was during the time people had to survive in the middle of this storm. Still, the tornado was far from over. Along US 25, the tornado ripped through more businesses.
An airport?
A martial arts school was flattened, and a large apartment building collapsed, killing 2 people inside. Likewise, the Southside Florist was reduced to rubble, and a pet store was hit. Thankfully, all of the animals survived.
Aww.
From there, the tornado crossed more neighborhoods, damaging barns, snapping trees, and destroying outbuildings. It was weakening, but it was still producing EF2 and EF3 damage. A couple of warehouses were destroyed, and the Slate Hill Baptist Church was unroofed. Along Cedar Ridge, the tornado had finally lost its destructive strength. At this point, it could only shatter a few windows and snap trees prior to dissipating west of Lida. The tornado tracked a long 60-mile path just before midnight. At that point, it was on the ground for 90 minutes, and across 3 counties, it had killed 19 people and injured over 100.
An hour and a half.
As the tornado left the ground around midnight, the people of Somerset and London were just starting to make sense of their new horrific reality. Survivors emerged from rubble and were surrounded by shouts for help amid the dark chaos. Some people had broken legs. Others were left completely paralyzed. One surviving couple in particular drew the attention of the media as they each lost an arm trying to hold on to each other while the tornado completely tore their home apart.
I heard about that. I heard about that. Okay, that was that tornado. That. Wow. Oh, did y'all hear about that? The fact that, they're holding on to each other and each one of their arms got torn off from, like, the tornado, but they survived. Yeah, I remember seeing this exact image too. I'm so glad that they both survived that. Like, the arm thing really, really sucks, but the fact that they know they lost their arm to save their other, take it. Take the arm. Take it. I got my person. I got me and my person still. I'm fine.
A poetic testament of how the people of Kentucky endure tragedy, hanging on to each other. Unfortunately, while most survived unscathed or with minor injuries, there were others who weren't so lucky. Katie Byrne, one of the community heroes who immediately rushed to help neighbors, saw dead bodies of people and pets scattered near their home after the tragedy.
It's so heartbreaking to hear about situations like this and see the tragic damage that people are dealing with.
This traumatic and heart-wrenching sight would have been experienced by many others as well. Amid the devastation, though, the helping hand from the government and relief organizations sparked hope for the victims. Temporary shelters were immediately provided to victims. The Operation Barbecue Relief and Creek Church combined provided thousands of hot meals to survivors daily. Food banks received a $25,000 donation from Kroger. And Walmart's foundation, Sam's Club, also raised $750,000 for relief operations. Some looting mishaps occurred along the way when donated bags and necessities were stolen from a Kentucky trailer park.
Come on.
The new donations poured in thereafter, so the help was not disrupted.
You're gonna steal the needed items from people who lost everything? Hey, like, especially when that baby formula or something. Baby formula is so expensive. I don't have a baby. I'm not pregnant either. I just have heard that formula is extremely expensive to purchase, and those with children that need the formula, you're just gonna steal it just because you can when you have a home. Oh, that pisses me off.
We are going to be here for this community today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, and in the years to come to help people rebuild.
As the towns rebuilt and families
No, I'm not pregnant.
began picking up the pieces of their memories, one question was often echoed by interviewers. Will the survivors still live here despite the destruction? Of course, no single answer can represent the experiences of all residents in Kentucky. But Getson Roberts, one of the survivors, shared his thoughts in a news interview.
As far as rebuilding here in my community, I mean, this is our home. This is where I work. This is our home. I plan on staying here.
Oh, that one hit hard too. Sheesh. I don't know if I'm like hormonal or anything, but why am I like? Well, I'm obviously we have a reason why I'm upset over here, but I mean this doesn't actually impact me, specifically. But I'm very upset about all these people that it did impact, and I'm very pissed off that people stole from these people that needed the items that were generously donated. You know? Oh man. Okay, so that was that one. I'm no, no, I'm not pregnant. I'm not. But my gosh, man, it's just hearing the fact that all these people are getting together and coming down and like feeding just seeing like some of the houses still standing and then right next to them is literally nothing there. And just knowing that those people are also, being taken care of and like with shelter, basically homes, if you saw that trailer, like the mobile home thing, like a double wide, I think, or even a single wide. It's just it's great to see the community getting together and even like traveling to help this community. Those are amazing, amazing people, you know? But the thing is also with the question of would they still live here? Well, I mean, if they work around here, where are they going to go? I mean, they still have to get their stuff, or find their things among the debris. And then if they build there or build somewhere down the road, I don't know. You're still in that general area. But then again, I mean, if you have to rebuild completely, I can understand if you have like PTSD or something from it and want to be away from that specific neighborhood. But still, man, there's a town hit by a large tornado in the graduation of the school year after Obama did a speech at. Good grief, man. Oh. Yes, rebar. That's the bar I was trying to think of. Thank you. I couldn't remember what it was called. Rebar. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I had no idea you can do like 3D print liquid cement houses. I can imagine that'd be extremely expensive. That's pretty cool how technology has come across or come along. No, no, none of that now. But regardless, just the fact that it hit at the school graduation. Is that the one that you've seen before? The one with the butterfly people? Is it was that Joplin? I don't remember. It was okay, it was Joplin. Okay, I remember that one. I think that's the one that I really remember the most because of like all the stories after in the graduation, how it was in a different building, thank goodness, you know, and not at the school that got hit. Ugh, man, that's tough. That's really, really tough. But again, please be prepared. Even if, I mean, you can't rely on anyone to notify you, like, hey, there's a tornado heading towards you. Well, they may be asleep. You can't rely on anybody. You have to make sure you take care of yourself. But the thing is, if you know a friend that's in the area, just call them, message them something. Make sure that they know. If you can let them know, try to let them know. No, not the Mothman. It was almost like angelic type stuff, but they look like butterflies. A lot of people had that same story, but none of them like spoke with each other. So it was crazy. It was crazy, crazy. So, always be prepared, extra prepared. I've been made fun of because I've been extra prepared. Like I got my helmet, and they're like, "Look at you! You think a tornado's going to hit you? Yeah, it very well could. And if it does, I am ready. If it doesn't, then I'll be ready next time." I don't know. Here he stands, a silent guardian, a watchful protector, a dark knight. Born of grief and forged in shadow, I know you're on that table again. Get down before you fall and hurt yourself. Welcome home, honey. I hope you had a good day at work. Do you want blue or lemon lime creatine Gatorade before your workout? Honey? Justice. If you want to get strong and energized to fight crime, drink Gatorade by Gamer Subs. Zero sugar, electrolytes for hydration, plus more benefits and flavors of blue and lemon lime. Get yours today by using code SPIT at checkout to save 10%. Justice, justice, justice.